Alright guys, such a comic again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. The drama was properly kicking off last night with the ARs going to war as to what we should do with the current meta. The M15 has been dominating since the release of Black Ops 7 and many of the players had different opinions on what they should be doing about it. Should they ban certain attachments? Should they mandate certain others? Let's just say Dashy was not especially happy with Ghosty's perspective on the matter. Plenty to get into today. Very much enjoy to your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. GG finally did a tweet of their actual full team rather than just 4 separate ones. Anyway, Estriel, Kremmumbus, guys. Speaking of team announcements, we got the official confirmation yesterday of the Team War roster. So we saw this as Next Threat the other day. Now I kind of hinted that every time Next Threat have been around, it's been Doug who's been there as part of the play. And well, we're seeing it again. So DiamondCon, Johnny, Standy are going to be joined by Sensor for the first time in quite a while. Now, Doug retired not that long ago, stepped away from competing. Obviously, he was in challenges for a little while, trying to get back, talking about winning the World Championship. But he will be playing against pros in just a couple of days. And this is a big story. I know that some people will be like, come on, you know, could Doug have gone to a different team, or did Standy, Johnny, DiamondCon need to play with Doug? Look, we'll see how Doug gets on this game. Is it a game that should suit Doug especially well? We'll see, right? Like, he was generally better at some of the boots on the ground titles, but Advanced Warfare back in his day, he was also very good at as well. And obviously, Doug brings some star power to this team off the server, and probably that's one of the reasons why this has become a thing. But they will be playing Team War in this invitational tournament in a couple of days' time. In addition to Bush Gaming, they've got Don as their coach. Now, Don was trying to come back and play, and he had a couple of teams that nearly happened. I think he was looking to team with some of the Halo guys, but they fell through because some of the Halo players he wanted to play with haven't moved over, or there's been some drama behind the scenes, whatever. So the point is that at least for now, Don will be moving into a coaching role, and he's going to be heading up the Bush Gaming lineup from behind the scenes. So with TJ and those guys over there, and they are set to play in a couple of days. So if you guys haven't heard about this yet, there is a $75,000 launch invitational kickoff type thing presented by Monster, but also by the league. It's happening in a couple of days. Today is Thursday the 20th. This is a Saturday, Sunday events. This is a banger. I hope this really goes well. I'm sure the viewership on this is going to be fantastic. We get to see the teams playing Black Ops 7 just a couple of weeks after release. Yes, it's an online tournament, but it's going to set things up very nicely indeed for when the kickoff officially happens and the online matches start for real in a couple of weeks' time, and then major one is at the end of January. It's quite a while away. So at least we've got this tournament to have some sort of competition and some sort of champion early on here in Black Ops 7. $75,000 isn't bad either. This is what the bracket looks like. So it's a 16-team double elimination straight up bracket. Now, of course, there's no time to do any qualifiers with this, so you just got to send it. And this is what the league has decided to do. So OpTic, of course, they're the #1 seed. I guess they've tried to seed it to some degree. So the top seeds of last season presumably have played against the teams, like the challengers teams, right? So I guess you can see that OpTic are playing the Stallions, Thieves are playing the Bush, Toronto are playing War, Surge are playing Omit Brooklyn. Now, you'll note Augulus on here. I'm pretty sure Augulus is just gentlemates, right? Ghosty, Neptune, Sib, and Envoy. But they've not yet confirmed their team. They've got their keynote. I think it's next Wednesday on the 26th. That's when we're expecting them to announce their team. So, like, they're not playing for LAG, Gorillas mates or whatever. So I guess at least that's a positive. I think that's going to be them regardless. So anyway, this is the bracket. OpTic plays Stallions round 1. Ravens play G2. That's an interesting series. Of course, the winner moves on from OpTic to play those rosters. Then FaZe and Falcons. Pretty good game to start things off, right? Because you've got that FaZe team with Simp, Falcons then with Celium. That's an exciting game. Doug's team is playing against Toronto, so that's a difficult first round game for them. LA Thieves are playing Bush, so we've got Scrap versus TJ Alley. Can't go wrong with that. Heretics versus, well, we know there was a little bit of drama last year between Heretics and the Thieves guys, and, well, Ghosty is on that August team, presumably that is the Gentlemates guys. Breach versus Cloud9. That's actually going to be real interesting early as well, because I've got a good feeling about Boston on this game. I know that I had a good feeling about Boston on the last game, but yeah, I see the vision there. And then Surge versus Omit Brooklyn, which is interesting because, of course, Surge come in as a top seed after last season. They're therefore playing a challengers team. but so far in this game, they've not looked especially good. Now, there was a bit of drama as to who got invited here, right? Because Team War, they got invited. It was Omit Brooklyn got invited. Now, the Stallions as well. Yes, have they invited challengers teams based on clout? To some degree, maybe. If you go back to last year's World Cup, the teams that qualified, one of the teams that made it there were 5 Fears in the end, but they didn't get invited to this. So, well, Fire's team, basically. And Fire, I think, understandably is frustrated about this. You know, it is kind of just what it is, and it is unlucky, but it's understandable because these tournaments are really important for the challengers teams, the challengers players to get spotted, to get noticed, and yeah, not to get invited is tough. But, you know, teams had to miss out, I guess. Fire says didn't get an invite for the 75k Prime after making it to the Pro bracket, and what we did to end the year in BO6, but an org that didn't even have a roster this COD got an invite, right? Talking about Bush Gaming, I imagine. That's obviously coming now with their roster. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. Maybe it is what it is. But let's talk about some GAs, because there's been lots of drama over the last few days. Starting here, as of yesterday, the day before, this is kind of what the pros were doing. Not much in terms of GAs. They were mandating an OpTic on the assault rifle. They were mandating no muzzle. There were a couple of other ideas, such as getting rid of gunfight or the wildcard. There was a bit of talk about that as well, not using TAC and flak at the same time. So that's pretty much all the pros were doing. But we know that it led to an M15 dominated meta, right? There was one gun that's been ruling them all over the last couple of weeks. That's been the M15. There's multiple reasons for that. The subs are nowhere near as strong as they should be. I think that Gunsmith and the way that things are nowadays in terms of attachments certainly doesn't help. But the pros have been trying to find a way to have a meta which isn't just one weapon, right? Like, we usually see 2 gun metas, 1 AR, 1 SMG, and we get kind of frustrated about nothing else getting tried. But the M15 has been the total do-it-all. There's really no reason to run a sub at all, because the M15 kills you just as fast up close anyway. And do you get any better movement with the SMGs than you would with the ARs? Not necessarily. Now, there's been a lot of talk about this from Dashy, among others, as to what they should do. I mean, we've got Shotzzy here trying out the Peacekeeper, but Dashy is talking about the M15. Now, you may argue, and probably understandably, just leave it, guys, because Traixx are definitely going to do a patch update relatively soon that is probably going to substantially buff the SMGs and change the dynamics. So maybe just leave things for now, play with the M15, and then see what happens in a few days' time, because often once something gets GA'd, it very rarely comes back, even if it's balanced and is now fair enough again. It's a good question. You know, the XM4, for example, was used in Cold War. That was used for the whole of Stage 1, despite being very strong before it got GA'd. So maybe that's something to consider. But equally, there is a $75,000 tournament in a couple of days. I don't think the league wants to have, I don't think the players really want to have 8 M15s on the map the whole time, but, you know, that is the way that the game is played right now, so maybe that should be how it is. You play the tournament and then you go from there, but the pros probably don't want to do that, so they've got a couple of days to try and figure out what might be a better solution. Dashy says, look, the M15 is the dominant weapon, we've just got to get rid of it, right? But other players had different ideas. There was a suggestion last night that was being pushed by certain players that you mandate a slow stock. So there's certain stocks, again, it's like this gunsmith drama. I think it causes issues. But there's a ton of stocks, and one of them, or a couple of them really, they slow down your movement speed, they slow down your aim down sights time, they give you less recoil, but that's the compromise, right? And that's something that the pros were looking to mandate. But Dashy was like, look, the gun's going to be overpowered anyway, whatever we put on it. And also, I want to have a bit of fun, right? So I don't want you to slow down my AR so I can't wall bounce and do these other things as well as I might do otherwise. Let's just try and find a way to use an AR that actually makes sense, but isn't so overpowered. Obviously, Traixx and the weapon balancing is going to have a part to play in that as well. So Dashy was not very happy about this, because there was a suggestion from Ghosty, I think from Scrap was pushing it as well. Of course, they're no longer on the same team, but Ghosty was pushing this idea that, okay, let's just use this certain stock. We're going to still use the M15, but it's not going to be what it was. And then there was talk about using this other weapon, right? So after the M15 was, okay, we're going to ban that one, there were some other guns that were being considered. Dashy was trying them out, and Ghosty was was maybe trying to say, oh, you know, that's too strong, we need to be using this other setup instead. Dashy wasn't a real believer in that. So, you know, some entertaining comments here, it's got to be said, does make you wonder whether Dashy and Ghosty were really the best of friends when they were on OpTic a couple of years ago. But yeah, we saw the same thing continue, and Dashy was like, these guys have no idea what they're talking about, I'm just going to go ahead and make my own class. Even Dashy was like, Ernie, you got no idea, you're off the AR council, right? Because lots of the ARs are butting heads over this idea as to what they want to do with the weapon balancing right now, and well, Dashy is certainly not on the same page as the others.
Wait, so we might as well just do the 8AR shit until like...
I swear,
until the game gets...
not thinking, bro. Just GA the fucking gun. Just get rid of it. Bro, it's so OP, we're doing this. Bro, enforcing fat stock.
They're all in here.
Bro, I want to play BO7, bro. I'm done. We done with the 90s. Done with World War II, habibi. I want to fucking fly around, enjoy the game, and bro, everyone use fat stock. Don't shoot your gun, and wait for the subs to shoot you first, and then we could use the AR. Bro, that's what I'm hearing. Just get rid of the gun. Just try again, bro.
Yo, when's that coffee? Yeah.
I want to play BO7, habibi. I'm done with the 90s. I'm gonna get BO7 one last time in my career. You know what I mean? And before I go to the worst game ever, probably next year, I want to at least use the fucking wall bounce and shit. I want to at least play the game. No, Ernie didn't get his chance to sit cabin wall for fucking the whole year. He's trying to make it happen here, but it's not happening.
Rillos, your boy Dan Ghosty.
They're probably warming up the Mirage.
Yeah, Dan Ghosty's probably trying to get a 3-bullet fucking clip of a headshot up close, point blank, the high 5 distance.
Yeah, that's what he said in the chat. He was like,
Hey, did you see me? Did you see me? I'm like, it's a 3-bullet headshot from high 5 distance, Danny G. Fucking retard. One retard saying that, bro. Like, nobody's gonna. Bro, I promise you, you're not gonna see one 3-bullet clip today. You have to hit all 3 headshots up close.
Yeah, 50 meters, you need 4. You wait, even 25 meters, you need 4 headshots.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, the headshot multiplier doesn't exist unless you had all 3 headshots. Okay, dude. You had all 3 headshots from fucking 5 feet. Oh my god, the gun's insanely broken. Fucking retards.
He said high 5 distance. That is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, like, because the retards, I don't know, because you tried making it seem like it was OP. Are you retarded? I'm using the gun. This gun sucks cock.
Do you want to do 2.5 or 3? People are asking.
The retard, yo, the retard thinks I'm not using the gun. I swear the retard thinks I'm not using the gun. I'm gonna think Wanderstock is insane, bro. What you could have said that? You could have said Infill's insane last year. Am I tripping? Is this the same shit? Are people retarded, bro? Like, I swear, bro. I'm making my own class. I'm about to put on Gunfighter.
He said I'm making my own class. See? Oh no.
This one gives you, that one gives you strafe speed.
I think there's no way we can use that isn't the Peacekeeper. What about the Mirage?
Wait, why so you're forced to use the Bowen stock?
Yeah.
No, they were talking about, like,
saying.
I got out in the chat, I called them retarded, and now they're like, yeah, it's troll. Wow. They were gonna use it for the whole set, I think, the retards.
I mean, I don't know what, like, dude. I mean, the game makes it fucking. Yeah, you got?
Yeah, Habibi Ernie, you can hear me now? Yeah, I know it felt good for you because you don't even move. You know, you get that fat stock, Habibi. Good shit, bro. We're gonna figure something out, though. You're off the AR council.
So then with all this going on, the pros started to look at this gun instead, the Mirage. Now there's a few other ARs in the game. There's the MXR, which is also very strong. I think the MXR would actually create a slightly more balanced meta. Still very strong, but I don't think it's quite as versatile as the M15. The Mirage just isn't that good with respect to the other ARs, really. But, and the funny thing is that you put the Mirage in, if you use all the attachments, you're still probably seeing like 6 of them on the map, if not more, just because of the balancing right now between the ARs and the SMGs is not especially good. But yeah, the DS20 Mirage is probably, of all these ARs, this is exclusive ACES testing, of course, pretty weak, right? Like the M15, yeah, it doesn't have the craziest time to kill, but given the fire rate and the range, it's still very strong, whereas the Mirage is pretty good point blank. That was some of the talk that Dashy was mentioning there as well with those headshots. But yeah, the point is that it's pretty bad after a certain amount of range, but the SMGs just don't have much going for them, and therefore it's a problem that they are trying to take into their own hands. My opinion is that I would love to see them try the M8. Now, I know that they don't want to do this because it's a marksman rifle and whatever. And yes, the M8A1 is a powerful weapon, but I can almost guarantee you that if the M8A1 was used by the players, there wouldn't be 8 of them on the map. It's just not versatile enough like the M15 is. It's very good at what it does, the M8. 4-round burst, bop, slamming the guys from long range. But if you're up close, you're gonna want an SMG. And these burst ARs actually take some skill to use. There's been this real move over the last few years towards just these absolute do-it-all main AR weapons that are just the easiest guns in the whole game to use. And that's what basically everyone uses. And I wish they took a different approach to this. So Octane says, AR balancing in the game is not great, and attempting to create a permanent weapon meta around it is not a good idea. Any R that's used is going to be 8 on the map. Again, maybe that's true for the M8, but I'm not convinced that it would be. It's just the current state of the balancing, hoping for a tuning patch soon. Now, Scrap says we used a version of the M15 with this slow thing that had like the slow stock that had 4 subs on the map first set and actually felt decent. AR started complaining though, he's talking about Dashy. Now we're back to 8 ARs. Octane says, oh, so we're just pussy. People are missing the point of trying to get subs on the map. We put a worse AR and people started bitching. Makes no sense. Nameless then says, look, let's just not ban anything until the first patch. But Scrap says, look, it's a bot comment. The game is busted. We literally have to do so. And, you know, maybe he's got an argument because there's a tournament in a couple of days' time and they want to find a solid meta for it. Benjay, though, says, look, maybe we just play with it in the current meta so Traixx knows what they're dealing with. But, yeah, Scrap says it's all cooked, basically. So intrigue your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to play around with the DS20 Mirage, this is what Mercules was running as of last night. So intrigue your thoughts in the comments. Loads of drama as ever. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.